It's acting a little different this time.
Oh, well, shows
Setting
that
up
we're up.
meeting for YouTube Live. Okay, we're good. All right. Oh, that's pretty nerve-wracking. Okay.
I was so worried.
Yeah, me too. That's
I was
really
gonna have to tell everybody, I promise we're not quiet quitting,
I know.
y'all. We could never,
Hmm.
especially not after picking up some new listeners.
That was like the
Exactly.
old days where oh man, when Jaden and I would spin, it was like, you know, there was no Zoom yet.
Hmm.
And man, we would spend so much time with guests trying to get their settings right. And by the time we were started, we're just like, oh man, there's nothing funny about anything. Yeah.
Everybody was worn out.
Well, we pull through.
That's what's up.
But yeah, you had to change gears real fast. All right, I need to go get a drink and I'll be right back.
All All right. right. Let
Okay,
me
we're
actually
live
get.
now though. It's good. It's good.
That's good. Oh, the puppies are finally asleep.
Shout out to YouTube.
YouTube.
What's up, YouTube? Thanks, Obama.
Oh,
Thank you for
best.
everything. Click through on the two. I really need to shave my head again. The receding hairline is
Then you got to leave the beard.
I will.
Make you
Oh
look
well,
mysterious.
I've been meaning to ask the sideburns. Where do you think I should?
Like right at your glasses.
Right here at the
Yeah.
bridge or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Word.
Go get one of those hot towel shaves.
The only place I know in town that does that is in little downtown area on the main strip, but I don't think it's the same guy that it's the same what is it, the same barbershop? I don't know if it's the same owner, and it was like an older gentleman that would do that.
Got you.
I went there way back in the day when I was still in high school. One day I was like, let me try this cat out. And yeah, he had the machine that made the hot foaming shaving cream, had the towel and
Nice.
everything. I was just like, this is different. All right.
Yeah. When Bill had like a little beardy thing going, maybe
Mhm.
last fall. I like it in the winter. It's like soft. um, he went to Kylie's boyfriend as a barber, so he
Hmm.
obviously does. I don't know that he has a foam like a hot foam thing though. That might be a good Christmas present.
Are they expensive?
I don't know. I'm gonna look into it. I'll tell you that right now.
That's what's here, hold on. Let me go grab something for the computer. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll just I'll just dance like a monkey. Speaking of, you need to watch Champ
Dancing,
Crazy.
dancing, yeah.
Dun, 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 dance machine. Okay. Hot foam. I gotta go on Amazon. Hot foam. Or-
Hmm. All right.
All right.
Man, I've been laughing my ass off all week. And then today's
Yeah.
been very stressful and on
Oh,
edge
you are?
and aggravated all day.
You've been laughing all week, but you've been aggravated all day. What
Yeah.
brought your mood down? Oh, the
Oh, this whole
football
football
thing.
thing. And
Oh, come on.
now I'm like searching for some ninth grade punk, driving around my neighborhood searching for some punk kid.
Oh my God. I was telling Kylie sent me, or Gen, they were talking about Gen X parenting and stuff. And they said like that Gen X parents aren't afraid to rough up your kids without you being there. And it's so true because I absolutely did that when she was little. I reminded her of the little boy that I pulled aside at the field trip and told him that I would find his mom.
Uh, I wasn't going to lay a finger on the kid, but I was going to do some serious psychological warfare.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
For sure. If you ever, yeah, how
yeah,
dare,
he's going
how
to need to see a
absolute
therapist.
dare.
I was gonna say some stuff that would require a therapist to fix.
All right, go ahead. Start recording the audio, senor.
Senior.
Oh, there we go. Toward the cloud.
All righty. 3, 2, 1. Let us roll.
Good evening, Endless Ranters. Welcome back for episode 202 of your Endless Ranters podcast. We do what we want and we appreciate your support. It's been a little while, so I'm rusty. My name's Chris. I'm a mostly peaceful dad living in North Texas and one of your hosts for this evening.
I was gonna
Let-
say, not
A
today.
little less
Son.
peaceful tonight, but mostly peaceful most of the time. 86% of the time, all the time. I'm joined by the Maxwell housewife living in a crunchy mom's world. What's going down, Kwana?
You know what? I just got a new water filter, and I will tell you what, my coffee this morning, chef's kiss.
You can taste the
So
difference,
good.
eh?
You can taste the difference.
I'm sure you can. They need to invent a device that can tell whether or not people can really taste the difference.
I can't.
You
You
can.
know, coffee can. Well, I mean, I make a
No,
fancy
a
coffee. I make
device
like a
that's not
foam.
you,
I make
not
a
your
hot
opinion.
foam. No, of course, yes, you're
They're
right. They
called
should.
they're called, what is it?
You test the water.
course
The
you-
water's
Polygraph?
different.
There you go, the
Polygraph.
Yeah.
Yeah, but strap you to a
Thank you.
polygraph while you're having your coffee in the morning.
It's quite
Get
the
bright
imagery.
light shining. I get bright light shining in your face. Like, you know the difference.
Are you really a Maxwell housewife? Maxwell.
Or it's
housewife?
like, or if anybody asks you, like, oh, really? Tell me the difference. Just tell me the difference. What's the difference between the two waters? And I'm kidding because I kind of do believe it. There's stuff in water, but
Oh, you can taste. Oh, you can test for the stuff in the water. Don't get me started. You can test for the stuff in the water. Look at my curls. I washed my hair for the first time with the new filter, and
oh, that's it too?
yeah,
Your hair's never looked like that before until today?
I mean,
Never,
it's
ever?
so.
No, it's a first. Never, no one's ever seen your
So
hair look like.
usually when you pull the conditioner through your hair, at some point it feels like it's rinsed out, like your hair kind of feels like slick, like, but in like a sticky way. Today I was
Oh,
like,
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you
today
mean.
I was like, it felt like the conditioner wasn't washing out. So I was like, my wrist is hurt. So I was like, eventually I have to stop fucking washing my hair, like rinsing it out. Like I have to get out of the shower at some point.
Yeah,
So I just
eventually you have
got
to
out.
stop washing your hair, give up on life. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not anytime soon, you know. It's like, no, I know what you mean. It's I've been to hotels and things like that before where it's like this water's different.
Yeah, soft.
Yeah, because it's like your hair is not like squeaky clean. It feels like
There's
clean,
conditioner.
but like
Yes,
just,
soft.
but even
Yeah.
without conditioner.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't put lotion on today. My skin feels so different. So I'm excited because I've been struggling with a rash since 2020. So
Oh, damn.
excited to see.
So
Hi,
never ending
Manny.
rash. What's up?
Happy
Pleasure to be
Friday.
here.
I was
Happy
getting there.
Friday.
It's the man with the plan. What's going down, mall man?
Did you come across any black cats or walk under any ladders, break any mirrors today, Christopher?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Just curious. Not that it matters.
Did they cross my? I'm always like, did any black cats cross my path? Is what that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Well, you do live in a very what sounds like vibrant and active neighborhood, so I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't put it past
No,
that neighborhood.
I'm saying like black cats walk around like don't walk in his path. Don't walk in that guy's path.
Gotcha.
You know what? There's a big black cat on my block. Her name's Jenny. I say, hey, big fat Jenny, but she's Jenny from the block, but she lives like around our houses. And I saw her today twice. Does that count? But I see
Sure.
her almost every day.
Maybe.
But it is Friday the 13th. That's your point, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's you're getting old when you forget about that kind of stuff, and then like midday, someone's like, it's Friday the 13th. It's just like, you know what? I knew I saw the 13 down there,
And
I
I
knew it was
don't
Friday, but
care.
I just didn't. I never even put those two things together.
Just trying to stay alive, brother.
I mean, you're way too absorbed in the pet meme overload that's been going on this past week.
I know it's been hilarious.
Well, you do love a good cat video
I don't even
anyway,
know.
so
I mean, I really do. Like, who
yeah.
doesn't? Who doesn't
No,
love to
I love them
see
too.
like cute
They're
cats
funny.
running around? And then when you put something like this cat's trying to survive getting eaten by a Haitian, it's like
Ugh,
it makes the videos even better. You know,
so good.
it's like you can have a video of a cat like playing with a ball of yarn and just stare at it, you know.
Adorable.
And then 2024 comes along and some industrious memer it just adds like a caption on the top that says "Cats in Ohio." And it's like,
Shout out to all the meme lords putting in overtime.
Oh, good. I'm still waiting for
yeah,
the
every
Korean cats on a rooftop. I'm hoping somebody comes through for us.
Bandanas,
every
AKs.
cat
Yeah.
meme, every cat meme or every cat meme or video ever made has been repurposed as a "Cats in Ohio getting
It's so
eaten"
good. Yeah.
uh video meme.
I
It's
love it.
I don't even know where. I mean,
Oh, I saw that sad girl on TikTok though. She was crying her little eyes out and she was like, y'all don't know what it's like to have your pet decapitated. And she was crying her eyes out. And she said, and
I
y'all
mean,
out here making memes. Like she was so upset. I felt so
one of the one of the downsides of Trump being an exaggerator is that the left is always just like he's just lying all the time, lying all the time. So that when he says things that are like actually, you know, kind of happening or people are, you know, kind
yeah.
of worried about it happening,
Mhm.
people are just like, oh, he just made that up out of thin, you know, out of thin air, right? But it's
Right.
like, no, these memes aren't happening because Donald Trump said something crazy at the debate Tuesday night. They're happening because there's like
Like you
dozens,
said, I saw
hundreds
it on
of
the
real
TV.
Americans. Like I've seen it. I haven't seen it on the TV. I've seen it on the computer. I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen videos of Springfield City Council meetings where I don't think they're AI. I mean, they
Yeah.
look like
Right,
real
when you're
American
old, you say on the
humans.
TV. Yes. Yes.
Like they look like human Americans. They're real Americans that were born here that are pleading with their city council to help them and to help like with traffic and uh, like dangerous driving problems, missing pet problems,
Ugh.
missing geese, ducks.
The crashes, the crash compilation that you sent to the group chat. Oh
Oh,
my
of all,
gosh.
of all
Of
yeah,
all
like
the
yeah,
Haitian
there's like
crashes, it was crazy.
yeah, they're making video montages in these towns where they're just like all car crashes by Haitian people. And there's a woman, there's a heart-wrenching video by a woman who was like kind of saying what I'm saying, which is like, there's all this dogs and cat memes, but my mother-in-law was killed in her driveway by a Haitian immigrant who didn't know how to drive.
Dude.
And he
Wow.
ran her over while she was going out to get her trash cans in the morning or something.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that freak accidents don't happen between natural born citizens of America. I'm saying that stop fucking, jacking up the odds on us
Yeah. And what
on
about
that
the
lady, because it's not,
what
when I say us, it's not me. Like there's no goddamn way that 20,000 Haitian immigrants are being imported into the home of the Dallas Cowboys.
you know what's interesting? When Bill was in the car business at his last dealership, he worked kind of in a sketchy neighborhood.
Mhm.
And people would come, immigrants would come, and they were able to buy cars without a fucking driver's license.
Yeah,
They
they make
have
crazy
some
laws and
like
rules and things. Yep.
straight up no driver's
Straight up.
license, selling
Straight
them
up.
cars with no driver's license and just like this number. There's like some number that they
Mhm.
give them, and that's what they use. Because
Yeah, it's
when
just
you
like
buy
some
a
kind of
car, there's a lot of
crazy.
DMV on the back end, like stuff that goes to the state and to the feds and
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Yeah, there's
And
been
for
talk about
that
that.
specific, there's like a number that they give them, and they can sell them cars with no driver's license, which is illegal to sell a car without a driver's license, except to illegals.
Yeah, it's
Weird.
insane. It's literally insane. And as some people ask, like, what are these memes about? It's like to try to get people to wake up a little bit. It's fun. They're
Yeah,
funny, obviously, but
sure.
you're trying to get people to have a secondary thought, which is like, what's this all about?
Yeah.
Or why are there rumors of Haitian immigrants eating pets in Springfield,
It's
Ohio?
it's so weird how I
It's
have
Russian
been seeing
disinformation, man.
I've been seeing memes on the other side though, and they're just mocking Donald Trump for saying it. Like they're not even looking into like what that
Yeah, they're
could possibly
losing.
be
They're
about.
they're trying. I mean, that's like they're losing that battle.
So yeah.
I mean, of course, yeah. I'm sure there's a section of Democrats that are just like, "Can you believe he said that? That's so crazy. That's so stupid. What is this?" Oh, I
Right.
mean, there's some asshole that were, assholes that reply to some of my posts that imply like I think I'm not really Facebook friends with total morons, so I think that they actually know that these things are happening and they just
Right.
make conscious decisions to be indifferent about it. And they kind of imply they don't say it's not happening, but they'll say something that implies that it's made up. But they won't
Okay.
say it's made up. They'll imply that it's made up,
Okay.
right? Because they're fucking, pussies and don't care. They're indifferent to anyone else's, problems. I mean, they'll
Yeah.
call, Trump supporters or people like me, all kinds of names. It's like, no, I actually have empathy for people, my fellow American citizens. That's I have
Yeah.
empathy for them, and I don't think that they should
Can
pay
you
taxes
imagine
and
having
then get
60?
their apartment taken away, but because the landlord is like, the government is going to pay me 3 times as much to put this immigrant in this apartment
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
all these special programs you're talking about. Yeah, they just passed laws that are just like, in order to help these people, we need
Yeah.
to we need to take away all the rules for those
Yeah.
people. Like, oh, okay. And then I tell you what I would do if someone was like, hey guy, everyone else rules. You less rules.
Yeah.
I would be,
Good, good.
yeah, be like, that sounds like a great idea for me.
Thanks,
Right.
Patron.
That sounds a great idea. You mean I can get fast tracked for a mortgage or fast track for a car and all like my form is only 1 page and everybody else's forms are 5 pages?
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
And I guess there's just like crazy stories. I mean, I literally saw a American man, not AI, at a town council meeting saying the things that he was personally seeing. They are personally seeing these people go into like the local grocery stores
There's a
and
picture
just
of a
eat shit.
Haitian with a headless goose walking home. Like there's
That happened in
in a
Columbus, I
neighborhood.
think. Yeah, that happened in
Okay.
Columbus, Ohio. So it's spreading. It's spreading
Okay.
outside of Springfield. But no, there's real Americans that are just like saying,
Haitians
I was at
do
Kroger.
practice voodoo. They
Oh yeah,
do.
that's true.
They do. That's not racist. That is just a fact. The way a lot of white people are Christians, like Haitians, a lot of them, their religion is voodoo. And in voodoo, there is sacrifice of animals. If you have an outside cat,
Yeah,
it's
that's happening in New York too. I mean, that's another. I
yeah,
think I shared that story. Like there's some area in Jamaica, was that Queens or
their
something, where there's some
religion.
water.
Why wouldn't they?
There's a place in Jamaica, Queens, New York, they call Sacrifice Beach because
Yeah.
it's very common to find like severed animal like heads and
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it's just you know it should be said for the people of Springfield that they've probably in large part been incredibly accommodating and trying to be very understanding that hey, yes, these people came from a terrible place. They have different beliefs, different customs. So I'd say that I feel confident saying the majority of people in Springfield have been bending over backwards to not, you know, start
They said it's a
acting out
population
or
of 60,000 people and they put 20,000 Haitians in there. That's like,
I think it was less. It was like 39,000 people and then it got to 60 with that. Either way, it's like an insane percentage to
it's so
add.
crazy.
And I'm going to look, I'm going to look
Didn't
into it
you
more.
also say that they were a family had to have an interpreter for their child to go to school because the language at the school was
There's a grandfather that posted a video where he was saying that maybe it wasn't a video. And these are the kind of things that one by one you don't really take at face value, but when there's a lot of them, you're like, whoa, but
Right.
said that like some of the preschools are they're so like not English speaking that English speaking people are a minority, which, and I live in Texas. So, I mean, there's areas of Texas that are very Hispanic, and
Sure.
that probably
Mhm.
happens naturally where like a local daycare is mostly Spanish speaking, or
Right.
people in our area. Like, I think they have like kind of Spanglish daycares where
I
if you're like
wonder,
a bilingual family, you would send your kid to a daycare that is bilingual because it's
right.
just
Mhm.
natural versus sending them to a daycare that's, you know, English only. So, but I
Right.
imagine, yeah, the flip side will happen where you do these things where, yeah, daycare that your kid goes to all of a sudden is like
Well,
not the
also it
same.
creates more district jobs because if you could have, like if there's a special needs kid, they have the or the teacher person that goes with the kid everywhere they go. Like if you have to have a translator for your kid, the district obviously would have to fund that for some people, like if it was
I
in
think
a
that was
classroom
part of like
setting.
coming from the way the guy said it, like it was kind of like he wasn't going to get a translator, of course, but
Yeah.
it was more like a daycare saying, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
49 out of the 50 people that are paying us to stay in business don't
I'd
speak
probably be
English.
like, you better speak
So,
Spanish. Teach my baby Spanish. I would love that. Give him a second
yeah, I don't
language.
even know if it was Spanish, and
Yeah.
that's more of like a general story that may be happening in other places where it's not Haitians, right?
Yeah,
It's
but the
because I
one
mean,
that you had
I saw,
specifically sent was Ohio. It was in
yeah,
Ohio. So, I mean, it sounds like just why is it so focused in Ohio? Interesting.
I would guess that
Coincidental.
it's happening in towns that are dying. Like, and this is what I want to get. I do want to actually research this more and look back into when this happened. Like, I mean, I think it happened to the Biden Harris administration, but I will not be surprised if it happened with full cooperation of the political leaders of that town,
Mhm.
Right.
because I th- and it is really sad. It's another subject I like to talk about, but it is really sad. But we have thousands of towns in America that were like thriving in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s,
Sure.
and they're dying now.
Yeah.
And those towns are desperate, and their politicians get elected, and they're politicians, but they're also not stupid. So they realize like the writing is on the wall here. The math is on the wall here. The math is clear. We're going to have to start closing down a couple schools here and there. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
we don't have the tax base to pay for like, the Christmas parade this year. Um, but if we kind of, play ball with the feds and take a bunch of migrants from this, it's the app too, from Haiti.
Right.
Right.
And hey, everybody, it's only 1,000, right? Because
Right.
that's what they're probably told 1,000. I'm sure they're not good. I'm sure they're not as good at this as the federal government is at railroading people. So they were
Sure.
like, I was telling my son the other day, like explaining that phrase, like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. They're probably people in Springfield are probably just like, yeah, we should do this because
Right.
we're in trouble as a town.
Right.
But
I think that
then
is the nature of people is to be receiving for
yeah, it
sure.
really does. At some point, it's not on the receiving people; it's really on the takers. That it's like, yo, like that's a big ask. 20,000 Haitian. That's a big ask. You're,
It's a
it's
lot
a
of people for such a
that's a big
small
ask to.
community. Like, that's a
But it's also
lot.
not them. It's not really them and those. It's
Right.
like there's world government forces at work here that are
Sure.
destroying Haiti, making sure that Haiti is just in a perpetual state of
Yeah.
Chaos.
terror, chaos,
Sure.
yeah, just
Sure.
inhumanity, like Lord of the Flies.
Horrible.
So yeah, I
But I
mean
mean,
that's the
that's a
root
lot.
problem
I mean,
too, is that
that's,
that
yeah,
country has been abused by all the West,
probably us.
France, us,
Yeah.
the Clintons personally.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
They got away with that one, that whole Haiti thing,
Well, if there's
Haiti
ever going to
relief
be a
effort or
strike, it'll
whatever.
be on that.
But like, I don't really know the answer. So at some point we gotta like, I mean, this is kind of how strongmen get elected because
Sure.
it's like people are like, I need someone that, I'm not, it might get a little ugly, but I need someone to start sorting some of this shit out,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and
It
it
would be
may
nice
not
to
be the
hear about some
prettiest
of those
way, but
plans. Like if somebody had some sorting to do, like it just doesn't seem like any of that ever gets sorted.
well,
The
yeah,
cobalt
it's like a,
mines, there's a lot of like there's so many horrible things happening all at once. Never gets sorted.
and it's like really depressing because that's just Haiti.
Oh, the
There's also
Congos,
Venezuela, there's Colombia, there's like what I don't know, maybe Brazil soon.
maybe.
Um, there's I don't know, half dozen, 10 other South American, Central American countries that are
Yeah,
also also kind of in real bad shape, and
yeah,
people are fleeing because it sucks.
yeah,
Mhm.
They're not fleeing because they're making 80K and they want to make 85K. They're fleeing because it's like they're living in terrible situations and want to just get into a slightly less terrible.
right.
And they've heard that
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Get in here, it's pretty good. There's a lot of free
yeah.
stuff.
So much free
And it's
stuff.
so, I mean, that's America though. Like we get our heartstrings plucked, and
Yes.
it's I don't know.
But
So
also some ugly sides to it too. I mean, let's not be naive. We're not just taking everybody in because we care. Like we're also stealing 300,000 fucking immigrant children. Like let's be very clear on what we're fucking doing. Excuse my language.
I don't think that's the main goal, but I do think that there's definitely some factions within all the what do you call them?
Slavery, white slavery, black
I mean, like
slavery.
all the organizations, whether it's like UN relief work, whatever,
Sure.
refugee, but or whatever whether it's like some United States nonprofit run by Yale or some other Ivy League that's,
Yeah.
just taking American money to help,
Hand over fist.
line their pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sure that there's definitely, yeah, I would be pretty sure that there's a child trafficking angle in there that is hidden by all that certain, some people in those yeah, I don't know, in the supply chain, in the authorities that kind of control that. Yeah,
Right.
there's probably plenty of people in on that.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean,
to lose
it's not like it's not
300,000 children, yeah, you
yeah, I
would
mean,
have
it's
to
like
think
you
that
can't be
there's
like,
somebody behind it. It can't be all just negligence, right? You
I mean, you
can't,
can't watch Taken and be like, oh, those Serbians are all into like sex slavery and you can't watch Take. It's like, no, they're doing it. There's Americans that are into that shit too.
we're the most into it. I mean, the numbers,
Maybe.
no, not maybe. The numbers are
Yeah,
out
the
there.
numbers
We're
are
the
pretty
most
bad.
into it. We do it the
Well, it's hard to say
most.
because like I think that of all the missing kids, well, I really don't know. I would hope that of all the missing kids, that many of them are just with people, and the reason that they never like I think because they say there are 300 missing because they didn't show up for a court case,
Hmm.
right? But it's like I don't know, like not showing up for a court case is not really a crazy thing to do if you think that there's a problem. I don't know.
No, because they were letting in so many people, they lowered the requirement to be a
Yeah, yeah.
sponsor, to
Didn't need to
sponsor.
be a it didn't need to be a family member or anything
Didn't
like
need to
that.
be a
It just
foster
needed
family, didn't
it
need to
just
be
needed
a
to be basically someone that a United
would
States
show
government
up
official said your stamp of approval. Like we approve your forms and you can take these kids.
wherever you want. I know it's
I
hard. It's
mean,
so dark. It's so dark. It's hard to
well, I
think
mean,
about.
but I do try to think about they're not all, in the worst situation. I do think that there are a lot of people in America, in our country, that do actually want to take care of these kids, like realize that like there's a bunch of freaking orphan kids coming from other countries and they actually do want to take care of them. So I don't know. I mean, I guess the question is, of the 300,000, how many are in harm's way? You might think that it's all of them. I'm kind of like,
Well, I'm
I
thinking
can
that
understand that there's a lot of them
I'm
that
thinking if the government hadn't reached out to, like, you're taking in a sponsored child and from the government should be subsidizing you in some kind of way. So if there's some type of, they're giving them money, wouldn't they know where those kids are at? But they're saying they don't even know where the
oh, I
kids are
wouldn't be
at.
surprised. I would not be surprised. I mean, it is a real mind fuck because
It's so crazy.
but I wouldn't be surprised if like, yeah, you would. Okay. Yeah. I get your point. Your point is that like, if you
Why
don't
does
show
no
up,
one?
you don't get the money. You don't get the money to keep feeding these kids and you don't, but I don't think it's that simple because I think those kids are probably at some place or
That's the
there's
thing. We
there's
don't
probably not
know.
that there's probably not that connection because they loosen rules, right? The rule used to be, hey, if you want to continue getting the subsidies and getting the money and all that stuff, well, you got to show up every now and then. But then they'll make the rules like, no, we'll just keep giving you the money and we'll just keep funding and sending money to
But shouldn't at
your
the very
check
basic
card.
level, if you're going to take a kid, we know your address so we can send a social worker out to make sure that your house is clean,
Oh, yeah, of course,
no
yeah,
bed. But
should.
I mean, at the very basic level, if we care about children, I'm not saying American children, I'm just saying if we care about children at the most basic level, if we're going to let a sponsor take a child, should we just have the address?
Well, I
Just
think
the
if
address.
America, I feel like I'm about to have deja vu, but I think if America really cared about children, we would have a standing army of about 30 million soldiers
Sure.
because that's kind of what it would take to like really care about children in
Protect
this world.
them.
Have I said this before? Like I feel
I
like
don't
I'm
think
like
so. I've never
No, I
heard that
don't
deja
think so
number.
vu
That's a
though.
either.
big number.
It is.
Well, I mean, our military is like compared to our population and the population of our neighbors and all these
Yeah,
like our military is minuscule. It's like
right.
1.4 million, 1.4 million maybe active duty military at any point in our country out of
That
330
is
million,
small.
1.4. It's really, yeah, it's a lot smaller
That's
than people
small.
think.
Yeah.
Um, so, so I mean, it's like, I mean, the resources you would need because, well, the real, I said that because the real reason would be like, well, first off, you shut the border down
Mhm.
Yeah.
so that all these tech savvy Americans that are like, that get free money for doing like, stop the scams here.
Yeah.
And then we would, if we really wanted to care about the kids, we would have to start going and settling people's hash, if you
Yeah.
will, like overseas in foreign countries to protect kids.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because as much as it sounds like, yeah, we should do that, it's like, well, it's like that again, you got to have like a 30 million man standing army if you want to be the world's children's policeman.
But shouldn't if the ones that are on
We
our
should at least
soil
make
that
sure
we've
it's not happening
accepted,
here. Yeah, we
yeah,
should.
like
Yeah.
the ones that we've already accepted, we should just know that they're okay. Or can you imagine like you're a parent in that country and you've paid all this money because you think your child is going to go someplace better? It's that bad
I
that you're
blame
willing
open
to do
border.
that.
I really blame the open border voters because one of the reasons I am for a closed border is because the border is big and if it's not closed, you lose control.
Yeah.
You just lose control.
Yeah.
And I'll say like what, like the people like Bill O'Reilly would say, like, if you don't have a border, you don't have a country, that
Yeah.
kind of shit, everybody else knows that except for us.
Right.
But it's like, I want a closed border, not because of cruelty, because it's like, if you don't, everything is going to be out of control and you won't know, like there's just gonna be a brush fire that you can't put out.
Right.
So, I mean, we could at least make sure it's not happening here. We definitely don't. Like, there's a real good chance the United States is now the world's, world capital of child trafficking. There's a very good chance that American taxpayers
Are
and their
funding it.
children are the ones that have to pay off, support like the policies that make it so easy.
Horrible.
Because it is really, I know where you're at, Quana, because it's like, when you think about it, you're just like, wow, the world is upside down.
It's so upside down.
but
It's
it's
like the
really,
things that you believe in, like I don't know, it just makes you a bad person if you really think everybody's
Then
so upset,
let me
but
blow
no
your
one's
mind
talking
now.
about that. Yes, please.
So a lot of leftists and liberals in this country, they like to take American taxpayer money and send it overseas to fund abortions.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because that's kind of how they are. They're just like, what? They're like, we need to cut this off at the supply, like early in the supply, not
Right.
not at like child, like early,
They're
child
taking
care.
extreme preventative measures.
They're not talking about cut, like fixing this at the child care, at daycare levels. They're talking about like, yes, we want to send money and make sure that Venezuelans can have free and easy access to abortion because maybe they know like some of them are going to end up here
Hmm.
getting trafficked, through, Arkansas or wherever the hell,
Yeah.
getting
If you get
trafficked
them,
to.
if you
Yeah,
get
there's
them in
like,
the system with a free abortion, then off they go into the system and maybe they get trafficked.
a lot of
It's
crazy
so
stories
sick.
about those kids showing they turn up at like meat packing plants in, I mean, the deep
Hmm.
south. Not just, I say that because I don't think there's a lot of meat packing plants in like, Portland, Oregon. It's
Right.
more like in the backwoods of Mississippi, where
Right.
Eckrich is really cranking out the sausage, is where, and no one ever goes there.
Right.
They
Like,
make
hey,
their way
child
to
labor is
there.
still alive and well. It's like, what?
Oh, it's
Really?
Yeah, I think
absolutely
part of the
alive and well.
scam, yeah, so part of the scam is that Eckrich or, Jimmy Dean Sausage Factory doesn't hire 14-year-olds. They have contracts with multiple temp agencies in
Oh,
that
yeah.
area, right?
Of course they
That
do.
happened to
And
solicit.
these temp agencies are kind of coming and going. Then some of them pop up, they do a
They're
business, and they go out
pimps.
of
They're
business,
technically
whatever.
pimps.
So yeah, like Jimmy
Essentially.
Dean stays clean, or the sausage
Yeah.
company stays clean. But yes, that they are, by the time they realize that the kid
It's
was
an old
14,
model. Yeah.
the temp agency is like, oh, he lied to us.
Yeah.
He told us he was 18. And it's like,
And let's
by
be
the
honest,
time
What can
they
you
who's
do?
checking?
realize,
Who's checking? You know,
well,
who's
I get
checking?
part, yeah, shut the border down 100% so that that just doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
Yes, it might happen in a meat packing plant in then Mexico or whatever, or if it already isn't, but it's like, let's start by making sure it's not happening here
Yeah. Yeah.
and that we're not paying for it. And then maybe we'll have money to pay for other things. But I don't know. I mean, if things have gotten so big, the numbers are so big, you can't really even fix things with money anymore.
It's, I mean, I guess if you think of the town that's being overrun with Haitians, which I do have a thought about that too, but if you think about like if that is our country, like at some point that is going to spread out, you know what I mean? The number, if we don't close the border, if we keep it open for another 4 years or hell, another 8 years or 12,
Mhm.
who's to say if we aren't, every town is overrun with these new ways, which I mean, interesting, maybe or no, that when you think of the border crisis, and maybe it's because I'm in California and we see it from Mexico, like that's our border, right? It's weird
Yeah.
that like the immigrants that are being discussed are black, and we already know that like we can't really talk about black people, but they don't really care if we talk about brown people because we make jokes about brown people all the time. Isn't it weird that the immigrants that are in question, right, in all of the heat of this are black immigrants, and that's going to make it so that it's easy to call people racist? Am I like, is that a weird thought or?
Oh yeah, and that's, yeah, if we're not careful, yeah,
Yeah,
or whatever way. Yeah, I think
something to
they're
that.
always looking to tie racism into it.
Yeah. I just feel like it's weird that like maybe I don't know what the numbers are, but it feels like the majority of the people that are coming, they're coming from Latin countries or whatever. And so it just seems weird that the immigrants that we're talking about the problem with are
Yeah.
Haitians. And it's just
Well,
gonna
I guess
make
it's,
everybody like racist.
yeah, in
Maybe.
this one, in this case, I think there could be something to that. And there's just a matter of time before like Mark Lamont Hill or something like that comes out and says that the real problem that we have with the Haitians is that they're black.
Yeah.
And he'll say something like, no one cares about Venezuelans or whatever.
Right.
No, I think this is more about, this is definitely more complicated. I would say this is something more like 90s, 2000s when we were bringing in Somalians,
Right.
because it was like that. It was like large group of people in heavy concentration going into White County in Minnesota. Like
Right.
very noticeable, but different from country to our southern border that does a lot of drug stuff
Sure.
that, we have like just a real shady relationship with. Different. So like with I think it's like the 20,000 number, the concentration, the percentages,
Yeah.
it does make it very complicated. I think that it is Haiti,
Mhm.
because Haiti is not like a Mexico or like a
Right.
neighbor that that it's just kind of a normal thing that people go back and forth, or, whatever.
Right.
They
Haiti's
might
different
have a
because it's like,
dislike for us too, right? With
the
what the Clintons
Haitians.
have done, maybe. I mean, is that possible?
Yeah, I think I would guess that if I was Haitian, knowing what I know, I would have a very I don't trust these Americans attitude
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I might even have an attitude where it's like, I really don't have a problem walking into the grocery store, just helping myself to some self-serve food and then walking out
Yeah.
and saying, what are you going to do about it? Because that's
I've
kind of
seen
what you've
it.
been doing to my country.
I've seen
That's
videos
kind of
of
what we did to
it.
Haiti. That's what we did to Haiti, or France did to Haiti, or
It's
I'm
no wonder they want to get rid of
oversimplifying it, but
TikTok, because there's people are actually filming it. Like, you're seeing it in real time. It's weird.
yeah.
It's weird.
But, in all, it brought attention to the fact that there are American citizens that are getting completely hosed by their own leadership, the
Yeah.
very people
Right.
they voted for,
Sure.
the people that are in Washington, D.C. that they, voted for every 4 years, every 2 or 6 years,
Mhm.
are just they're totally fucking them over. Like,
Yeah.
don't care about them. And that's not a good place to be when you have large parts of your society that are just like, this place doesn't care about me. I'm going to start acting up now. I mean,
Yeah.
that's happened with other groups in our society when they feel like they're, downtrodden or oppressed or whatever.
Well,
Start
that's why
acting
they
up.
want to have a huge mass of people that are like so excited that Kamala's going to save them, even though like a lot of them are the ones that are most fucked, you know?
Yeah, we're definitely like, our
It's
country's turning
weird.
into like a weird TV commercial, or
Yeah.
like
For herpes
TikTok.
medicine.
Our country is like, yeah, our country's turning into like a TikTok trend kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
It's
yeah,
weird.
there's just so many games being played on every level.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't know how
Just
you
keeps
summarize all that. I think that I think JD Vance was saying after the debate
That
was like,
weirdo.
yeah, that weird guy. I mean, he was basically saying that something to the effect of, until people started making crazy ass they're eating our dogs memes,
Yeah.
no one cared about people in Springfield. And there are videos, again, there are videos on YouTube, in news articles of Springfield, Ohio, American citizen residents back in July in front of their city council, begging them to help, begging them to do something, begging them to, like, telling them this is a problem, like saying to their city council, you all need to get out on the streets and see this for yourself. They're like,
Right.
it's just one of those things that's very believable, very credible, because when you see a human saying, please help me,
Right.
like I'm standing in front of you
Yeah.
saying, please help me.
Yeah.
It's like that. Those are kind of credible moments. And, oh, hopefully people are paying attention. They're wondering, like, yeah, I hope people that I know are wondering, with some of my recent posts, like, yeah, that's true. That's true. There are not 20,000 Haitians being put into Frisco or Little Elm, Texas. Why
Right.
is that? Why
Right.
is that? Like, because people be freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like any local politician that was ever in favor of that would be run out of town.
Yeah.
Right.
There'd be like special council meetings to impeach everybody.
Sure.
Like the
Yeah.
first time, like one of our kids got their bike stolen by some Haitian, it's like, I mean, there'd be fucking,
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, this is not like a shotgun world, like if
Sure.
dads was shot, it's not like that in here. It'd be like, oh, well, now I'm gonna write a check for your opponent's campaign.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Right.
there would be instant penalties to the leaders that did that.
Yeah.
Instant.
That's why Colorado's, able to have whole buildings overrun by migrants. It's crazy. Yeah. The
Yeah,
leadership.
it's just it's
But
a very it's very lax. Well,
I
I
think
would
people
guess
who
that in
vote
those
that way
towns,
vote that way. They vote Democrat. I'm telling you, if you vote Democrat, like it's just ingrained. Like you just vote Democrat. That's who you vote
I would
for.
I would have to look into Aurora as well because there may have been some carrot on a stick there for them in the beginning that said, hey, your town is dying.
Right.
You
Come
know
to
it. We
ours.
know it. We know it.
Yeah.
If we kind of make your place a hotspot to drop off a bunch of these buses, if we make your town the last stop on a bunch of these bus routes from the southern border,
Mhm.
we will, well, you'll get a chance to survive. Like you'll get more people.
Mhm.
Like good news is we'll send you enough money so that you don't have to shut down your schools. Right. But and then very soon they realized that money they sent us is not enough to deal with like
The
all
amount
these
of
new
kids.
people.
Yeah.
And also like, well, no. The money that they sent was the perfect amount to help deal with all these new immigrants if they all followed the law
Right.
and they could all read at their age level.
Sure.
And they
it's
all
horrible.
none of them were gangbangers.
Right.
But as soon as you find out that like there's people on camera saying that they're putting adult Haitians in high schools because
What the
they're trying
fuck?
to, well, they're not educated. They're trying to help them. Like you can't just bring people here and be like, you're on your own. Sorry, you
They
can't
don't have
read or do math.
adult
Sorry,
continuation schools instead of a high school though?
but they
Or are
don't,
they gonna be
not in a small town. There's the adult education
oh,
center shut down in Springfield 10 years ago.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Oh my
I mean, I don't
gosh.
know that. I'm kind of exaggerating, but that's kind of how these things go
Yeah.
Right.
to where they don't have that. They don't really
That's
have that
wild.
kind of infrastructure to deal with it. And then,
Can you imagine
but
you're a freshman going
it
to
only
school
makes
with the,
sense
yeah, that's
if you
wild.
bring in 20,000 immigrants from like a down, it's like, I hate saying it because it's like, if we don't, they're all going to like half of them will die of starvation. It's like their fate is very bad if we don't pick them up on airplanes and bring them here to Springfield. But I mean,
Hasn't their fate always been like, why all of a sudden everybody's has to come because their fate is bad?
that's the question. It's like,
And why do they have to come
well,
here? Aren't there there's plenty of beautiful places in other
Canada,
parts? Sure. Start
Canada,
there.
Germany is short on people.
I was gonna say.
Germany is they've signed an agreement with Kenya.
There's all kinds
Germany is
of
bringing in
civilized
250,000
nations that
Kenyans.
are doing fine. But if that's the case, then like everybody who's doing bad, they should all just come here and what? And then what?
Or is Springfield is there a factory? Is there like a Goodyear tire factory coming to Springfield that these people
I
are gonna
don't
no?
know.
Like there's yeah, I think people got duped on that.
Oh,
I would guess that it wasn't a total surprise to this town and its leaders that a lot of people got duped. But it happens. I mean, you know, it happens to everybody. You think you're getting a good deal on something and you're helping someone out, and it turns
yeah,
out it's a
for
lemon,
sure.
or you kind of got effed.
Mhm.
Literally every time you
Um,
help someone in the middle of it, you're like, why did I fucking do this? Why? Why did I do this? What was I thinking? I could be
Fuck
home
me.
right now.
but people need to pay attention, and it's like I don't want I really don't want to see any Americans getting hosed over, whether they're white people, black people, brown people, whatever the hell. Like it's just
Yeah. I
I
just
assume
think
everybody's trying to get into a situation where they're paying in to to America and paying in for all this stuff we're getting, and we're just
children,
like
the
nonstop
old
importing people that don't.
veterans, like this should be our order. You know what I mean? healthy
Yeah.
children, healthy olds, healthy veterans, like it first.
This had to be
If there's
like
leftover, then, but not till the first.
we have
Right?
we just have this we have the stupidest people, the stupidest unelected people running our country because some jackass, some well-meaning moron who works for the federal government was just like, what we need to do to help these Haitians is tell the apartment buildings that we will pay 3 times the rate
Mhm.
if they house Haitians.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that is such a nice thing to do to help these Haitians. And that moron never thinks maybe that landlord is unscrupulous
Yeah, for
and
sure.
kicks everybody out, kicks out a bunch of American families that are paying their rent on time
Yeah,
because you just told him that he can be 3 times richer.
sure.
It's like they never even think of that. And I don't think most people will do that, but it
Mhm.
happens and it gets Americans fucked over.
Well, the ones that they put into the hotels are now being staffed and taken care of by our army. There's people filming
That's right.
our army taking care of the hotel migrants in New York City.
At least that's a
Can't
little
deny
different
it. There's
because
videos of them
yeah.
taking care of them.
Well, New York City residents and voters chose to be a sanctuary city. They've always
Sure.
supported sanctuary cities. And I bet they're probably, well, I would hope that a few of them are rethinking that because apparently they had a lot of hotel owners in New York City that, their occupancy rates weren't great.
Yeah.
They were staying in business, but their occupancy rates were like 60%
For sure.
at normal market rates.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the government came in and was just like, hey, how would you like to have 100% occupancy at 3 times market rates, 24/7, 365? And they're just like,
Well, it's
oh,
the same with all of
that sounds pretty good. That
it's the
sounds
same
pretty
with
good.
all of the houses that BlackRock bought up during 2020 and why is the housing shortage?
Oh yeah, the open
Because if
border
you
voters
have
vote
those
for those
houses
people too.
available, if you have those houses available, then you're put into the neighborhoods too. So it's not just apartment complex or hotels, it's communities where, say there's all these
Yeah.
homes that are kind of scattered in where you don't care, it brings down the value of your neighborhood, really does.
Yeah.
Yep. And the government's paying the bill for it so they can live in, all the neighborhoods.
Yeah, so I guess I would like to look into like Springfield. Did they ask for this? Did they want this? Did they vote on it? I don't
Yeah.
know. In New York City, at least, they've been voting for this stuff and these policies for a long time. So
Yeah.
now they have a lot more crime, and they got they just got straight up. They got like whole new red light districts with hookers on the streets.
Yeah.
The New Yorkers have their kids seeing that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
that's what they get.
Yeah.
It's the
Yes.
70s all over again, baby.
It is. I saw some pictures of people because these are like really seedy articles to like look through, but it's like it's happening,
Mhm.
and there's pictures of just like fuck. It's like that fucking HBO show.
Yeah.
What was
Hookers
that
on the
HBO
Point?
show? Hookers on the yeah. It's like that. It's like this is like it's at 2024.
Why
Yeah.
the fuck do I know that?
It's like in 2024. You're just like you've seen the open air drug markets in Philadelphia. It's like
Yeah.
that's in 2K. That's in like HD, 4K HD film.
Yeah.
Some of these pictures are just like, wow, that's not like grainy. That's not grainy HBO documentary. That's like brand new hookers in New York City,
Happening.
4K.
Yeah. Doing it. Yep.
And then all of a sudden the parents are just like, my kids saw it. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They sure did. Who'd you vote for?
It's crazy.
The open border voters, the Swifties, the Kamala Harris supporters. It's like, yeah.
We
Yeah,
love
you
you,
like
Adrian.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure she's You like 7% interest rates for houses? You like 7% mortgage rates? You like your rent going up every year?
Yeah.
Do I?
So wild. It's so wild.
Because you like that beat and she sings about songs you can relate to. You want to pay more for a house?
I love that thing about how all of her music is about the bad choices she's made.
Yeah.
Fuck Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
honestly,
She's taking Kelly Clarkson to like a whole new level of
annoying.
because that was her whole stuff was like just getting dumped all the time.
Yeah.
Oh God. It's sometimes very
Now
embarrassing to
Taylor
be a
Swift is
woman,
just
I'll
like
tell you that.
like her song all about like breaking up with dudes that she, admittedly just had real bad judgment about. Nah, I mean,
Oops.
she's a business at this point. She's a machine in herself, but it's
For
like,
sure.
like I don't think so. Taylor Swift is for,
Pfizer.
um, she's for, like
Pfizer and the
tra-
NFL.
trans surgeries and like hormone treatments for minors. Is that what Taylor Swift's for? Because that's what
Um,
Kamala Harris is for.
Yeah. I
Is
have
Taylor
real
Swift all
questions
about?
about that.
Is Taylor Swift all about like she thinks that it's good for the economy and good for the American people and her fans to have to pay 7.5% mortgage rate if they want to buy a house? She probably, I mean, it probably helps her because she's probably, heavily invested in banks.
Yeah,
mhm.
sure. And why would she care?
But
She
for her
can.
fans, I think it actually costs her fans like thousands of dollars a year if they have to pay a 7% interest rate versus
She's
a three
fine with
percent
her
interest rate.
fans paying $1,400 to go see her. She's fine with the lottery that these.
Oh, that's true. I was thinking
She
about
don't
that the
give
other
a
night
fuck.
about how she's just like, Ticketmaster, you're so bad.
So shut the
Yeah.
fuck up.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you one of these days, Ticketmaster.
Yeah,
When I
exactly.
retire.
Meanwhile, she'll just like create a new Ticketmaster and just become the
Yeah.
Queen of England or something.
Yeah.
Just be
It's
so
amazing
like,
how Theo Vaughn found a way around the fucking price ticket
oh, it just
hijacks.
goes
But
website.
yeah,
Yeah.
but Taylor
Well, I
Swift
mean,
can't
maybe
seem to
Taylor
figure it
Swift could
out for her fans.
maybe she could get some servers and some cloud space, make her own website. Maybe. I mean, that sounds
I
kind of
mean,
complicated,
yeah, I'm sure.
to have a
Yeah.
website where you sell your own tickets.
Yeah.
I'm sure she has a team that can make it happen.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's not
A lot
really
of
well.
admin. A lot of admin.
She would have the power, but to be fair, for other artists, like it's the stadiums and the venues that are kind of dictating how these